All right, everybody, happy Monday today on the Blind View here on Becca's World. And here is our host, Miss Rebecca Meadows.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for this special St. Patrick's episode of The Blind View. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. How is everybody?
Oh, happy St. Patrick's Day to you as well, lassie.
Yeah, happy St. Patrick's to everyone. Is anybody
Yeah.
doing a celebration?
We were going to go out, and then we talked about and decided we're just going to stay in. You know, stuff is so crazy out there anymore when you go out. And I don't know.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. And we just went out last Monday, and honestly, we might change our minds again and go out after all. We were planning on going to O'Kelly's because, I explained last week that we were trying to start going there to play trivia on Monday nights anyway. And since today's St. Patty's Day, they happen to be having a St. Patrick's Day celebration at O'Kelly's bar. So that was our plans, and we might change it back and go there after all, because that will be a lot of fun. But that was the only thing Pat and I had talked about.
Rebecca, here is your reminder. Hit my punching bag.
Alexa, stop! I'll hit my punching bag later. I'm doing my show right now.
Even the echo is reminding you, Becca, that you have things to do this evening.
Oh, I know. And I'll definitely hit my punching bag this evening. Because listen, I haven't been hitting my punching bag as faithfully here lately. And my hips have been bothering me so much, because when you hit a punching bag, it strengthens your arm muscles and your shoulder muscles and your back muscles and your hip and your knee muscles and everything, right?
Oh,
and so,
listen, you say the ravings of an angry survivor, so you don't have to make it about health. You could just say, I just got to get some aggression out. That's okay. I'm vibing.
No, it's definitely about health, because this is part of my survivor. I'm an angry survivor of traumatic brain injury, right? Like, this is part of how I've survived and recovered, is by exercising and strengthening my body. Plus, I broke my tailbone in July of 2017, 3 days before I left for the NFB convention that summer. I broke my tailbone, and so that has also weakened my back and my hips and everything. So that's why normally, under good circumstances, I'm hitting my punching bag twice a day for a half hour, and I had stopped doing it for quite a while. Boy, my hips have been bothering me so much, so I'm just getting back into it. I did it this morning, and I'm going to do it again this evening after the show.
So you're gonna really lead into that health angle then. Okay, all right.
Oh.
I believe you. I do. But I mean, I just think I would use it more for, well, like you say, strength training, but also physical conditioning. That's true.
Even with all of the work I've done on my body, my health is still barely better than other women my age out there. And it's only because I take my health into consideration all the time, right? Like if it wasn't for everything I had to recover from, and I still had done all this work all these decades, I'd be as buff as my boyfriend. Like, my boyfriend, he's 42 years old, but he looks so good because he's been working out for decades, right? And I've been working out for decades too, but I've been working out to recover and put my body back together before ever losing weight and getting strong. And so he's leaps and bounds ahead of me in that department. But he really inspires me to continue working hard and getting stronger. So.
Well, that's important. They're important to stay on track, With weather changes, I know the summer is coming and it's going to be harder for us to take walks. It's going to be so hot, but, we usually try to do it in the evening when the sun is down, but we do it every summer. You have to keep going.
So you know what you guys can do, Anya, is you guys can get a treadmill in your house. That's what I did when I left my husband. I got it. Well, I think I even got it before I left my husband, because when I moved here, I wanted to exercise and I knew it was really hot. So I got a treadmill so I can exercise first thing in the morning or any time of the day. You know what I mean?
I do have a treadmill. Yeah, we talked about this on the show. I do use it, but it's still not the same. It doesn't replace fresh air outside.
Yeah.
Up and down the hill. I mean, you can do, but you can do up and down on the treadmill, but it's not natural hills that you would climb, like little curbs and whatever you have to go when you're walking outside. I
Now,
enjoy them
Anya,
better. Hmm.
refresh my memory. Do you guys get snow and ice where you live? I don't remember.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so that makes it difficult to go outside and exercise at
Yeah,
times.
for the whole month of January, I think, and even part of February, we didn't go for walks almost
Yeah,
the entire month because it was so cold and icy and snowy.
yeah,
We tend to walk fast, so I don't want those
uh-huh.
pitfalls. When it feels like it's just snowing, you step and you slide and
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. So I just stuck to my treadmill for that period.
Oh, yeah.
But it is
Well, hey,
getting
but
better.
listen, I want to encourage you though, Anya, because in a similar way as uh, like green drinks and vitamin supplements, I mean, that's not the same as eating rabbit food. I mean, salads. It's better than nothing, right? So at least if you're using a treadmill, that's certainly better than nothing at all.
Well, hey, you can make rabbit food really tasty too. Just FYI.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well.
So, have you ever
when
had
I
this
get the
thing
money
called
to hire a personal chef, then maybe I'll.
Brandon, have you had this thing called a chef salad? On a chef
No,
salad, you
I've
can
heard of
get
it.
on a chef salad you can get ham, hard-boiled eggs, cheese, croutons, all kinds of great stuff on a chef salad. So it's a lot more than just some leafy greens.
Well, it's
Yeah.
just if I were gonna eat salad, I would want to try to get that vibrant, colorful symphony of vegetables, but I just don't resonate with that naturally though. Spinach and carrots and
Yeah.
Stuff really really healthy stuff.
Yeah.
But the good news is I did find a greens drink that does have a lot of that stuff, and it's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. So.
Yeah. I like diversifying my food, putting, even if it's a salad, just change a couple of things around, and it's, you can make different adjustments and make it taste way different. So we
Yeah,
take a
but
lot of
even for those of us who don't get enough of our daily greens, there are options. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
yeah. We take a lot of recipes from the website called downshiftology.com. It's a huge pain in the ass
Wow.
to navigate that because it's loaded with ads, and then like my husband is fuming when he has to go to that site because it's just so hard. But she has a YouTube channel. So it's just called Downshiftology, and pretty much every recipe that I tried from there is really good. So
Oh,
Wow.
really? How do you downshiftology?
yeah, it's a made up word,
Oh,
obviously, but
wow. So how do you spell it? Is it DOWNSHIFTOLOGY, I guess?
exactly, yep.
Oh yeah, just like it sounds. And so is it all one word?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just type it on YouTube and you'll see a bunch of videos.
Okay, cool.
And she is, but what I really, somebody recommended me this person because I was complaining about some bloggers. Like, I've watched lots of recipes, and what's really
Uh,
annoying is when they say, okay, you put 2 tablespoons of, I don't know, whatever, oil, and then you add something, and they don't tell me all the proportions. It's like, well, why did you say 2 eggs and didn't say how much sugar or something,
yeah.
but this
Uh-huh.
person really spells everything out. Like, she says how much of what you put, and it's really helpful to follow along.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it kind of reminds me of the whole concept, which seems to not be very popular nowadays, but like slow food, as opposed to fast food, right? Like,
Yeah, Anya, do you listen to Bard books?
I do.
Did you know Bard has a lot of recipe books on it?
Yeah, I know. So does Bookshare, but for some reason I
Yeah.
prefer to get them either from YouTube or from the
Oh,
website. I don't know.
oh,
Books are okay. But
uh,
the problem is, okay, unless I write it out, like unless I type it up on my computer or
uh,
something.
yeah.
But though, if I were just to use the book, I have to keep it on my Vector reader constantly if I want to go
Well,
back. You see what I mean?
Well, I haven't done it in a while, but I used to do it. I used to like get cookbooks from Bard, and I'd especially get like crockpot cookbooks because I love crockpot cooking. And so when I listen to a recipe, I could put bookmarks into places so I could go back and access them easily in the recipe and stuff,
Right, but what if you deleted the book of your device? Like if you're
Well, then you just re-download it from Bard because they're free off Bard. It's not like it costs you anything to re-download it.
No, I know, but to me it's extra effort. I don't find it.
Yeah, I just find like Bard is so easy to navigate, and they've got so many recipes. I mean, so many books of all kinds on there, but especially cookbooks. I've used Bookshare, but I don't find Bookshare as easy to navigate. And honestly, some of the books on Bookshare, because they are entered, those books are entered into the computer by volunteers. Sometimes they're not entered in completely or accurately. And at least on Bard, I know that it's accurate and I can navigate it so easily on my Trek. So,
Well, what I find better in Bookshare, so if you download a book, you can choose a format, like say MP3 format. So I can play it on my Victor Reader. I can play it on any other player I want to. Whereas with Bard, it's attached to your particular device, and you can't play it anywhere else. That's what's annoying to me.
Actually, if you like, I log into my Bard using my Bard mobile app on my iPhone or my iPad using my Bard information, and I can listen to the same books on my iPad or my iPhone. You know what I mean? And the thing is, Bard's completely free, and Bookshare, you got to pay for it. And I subscribed to Bookshare a couple times over the years, usually when I was going to school, but I just didn't find that they had the books I was using for school. You know what I mean? So.
No, you don't need to pay for. I'm not paying for Bookshare. There is a way you can, if you're a patron of Bard. I don't know about your state, but I'm pretty sure in any state you can do that. You can contact them and request a Bookshare account, and they collaborate somehow. So somebody recommended that.
Yeah, Bookshare is free if you're a student.
I'm not a student.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but the thing is, I just like Bookshare. I also don't find Bookshare, like, for example, I can't just log on to Bookshare with my Trek and navigate it with my Trek and push a couple buttons to download the books into my Trek like I can with Bard. And with there's a couple of sites that work really well with the Victor Reader Trek. The only thing about the Victor Reader Trek that frustrates me is they don't update it anymore. And I've honestly been planning on looking into an alternative device from a similar device from an alternative company that's updating their software and stuff. Because I want something that the Victor Reader Trek is supposed to do, but it's just so outdated.
Oh,
well, let me ask you ladies about this. Do either one of you use Audible or no?
No.
Oh, I love Audible.
Yes,
I don't.
So one of you do. You do, Becca, but you don't, Anya. Okay.
No, I find their system pretty weird. Like, you have something to do with points. I mean, you have to be a pretty avid reader to make it beneficial. Fun, but otherwise you have to buy each book separately or something like that.
So I have an Audible account, and I think it's $19 a month. I get charged that each month, but each month I also get another credit. And some months they give you bonus credits for different things. And I honestly have several credits in my Audible account. They're just sitting there waiting for me to buy a book with them, right? And so I said this on previous shows, I have a lot of Bard books in my Trek that I've downloaded over time that I've been meaning to read, but I haven't had time to. And I have several books on my Audible that are the same way that I just went ahead and downloaded because I had so many credits stacked up that I went ahead and downloaded them, and I just never had a chance to read them. I'm like, honestly, I love reading, and there's so many, ever since I joined the National Federation of the Blind in 2014, I was really shocked when I joined the Federation at how much accessible reading material is out there, Like,
Yeah.
because the only thing I knew about for years was the Talking Book Library in Helena, Montana, which turned into National Library Service. You know what I mean? The National Library Service now runs the Talking Book Library in Helena and in all the states,
But yeah, but let me ask you. Oh, sorry, finish. I have a question about Audible.
That's what I was. What's your question?
So let's say you purchased a book, whether with your money or credits, doesn't matter. So, and that book stays in your account only, like you cannot transfer it to a different device, download it somewhere. Is that correct?
So I can listen. I can say to Alexa right now. I can say to her, open Audible and play whatever book from my library I want, and she'll play it.
But if I ask you, Becca, can I read the book that you have? Like, you wouldn't be able to do that.
I've heard there is a way to share books with people or give books to people, but I've never done it. I could probably go into the app and figure it out though, because you know how apps are pretty easy to figure out if you go in and look at them. I've heard you can do that on Audible. I just have never done it.
Oh, because somebody told me you couldn't, and I was like, "What the hell?" Like, if you buy the book, from like a sighted person goes to the store and buys the book, you can do whatever the hell you want with it. You can regift it. You can, use it.
And you should be able to do the same thing with an Audible book.
Yeah,
and I had heard that they had made it so you could do that. I just have never done it.
Well, that's good to know that they made that change.
I have seen in the app send as a gift, but I don't know if when you select that, if you have to jump through a bunch of hoops or something to actually send it as a gift, And I also don't know I don't know. I guess you could send it to someone, and even if they have the same Audible thing you have, then they wouldn't have to use up one of their credits to get the book if they wanted it. So, but yeah, I've heard that you can share Audible books, and you can't do that with Bard books, but Bard books are free to eligible patrons, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I can deal with that,
Yeah.
But if you pay for them, you should be able to share. Yeah.
I used to be a member of a few different groups on Facebook where they talked about current books that they were reading, right? And I actually dropped out of those groups because I was reading all of these posts about these great books that people were reading, and it frustrated me that I was always in the middle of a book, and I usually had at least 3 books lined up I wanted to read, and you know what I mean? And so I'm just such a huge bookworm, and I want to read a lot of stuff. So,
yeah, just
I've alternated it. Just I don't know. With me reading kind of ebbs and flows. I mean, people at many points and at many places throughout my life have called me a wordsmith, and I do attribute that to reading. But I don't know. I would definitely not call myself a bookworm. Really, my thing is podcasts, man. I love the. It's called Pocket Casts. It's a cross-platform podcast. I love podcasts.
Is it free?
Yeah.
So on the Victor Reader Track and even on your iPhone and stuff, you can download podcasts for free.
I love
podcasts. Yeah, I love podcasts too. And that's one thing that frustrates me is I love podcasts, but I don't spend hardly any, like once in a while I'll spend a couple hours listening to podcasts because I'm always trying to catch up on my reading, or if I'm not reading, like listening to an audiobook, then I'm trying to find something to watch on like the History Channel. I love the History Channel.
I gotcha.
Yeah, like I'm a big history buff. I have been for a long time, and so and now that, like, back when I went blind in 1989, and before that I never saw like my parents had rabbit ears, right? They never had cable TV, and so I never saw any of this stuff like the History Channel and all of these cool TV stations that are on cable, and it blows my mind. So yeah, I love to, like, if I happen to turn on the TV and there's something on the History Channel that, well, almost anything on the History Channel, if it's something that I'm trying to think, there really isn't anything when it comes to history that I won't watch, because anything, I really believe we can learn from history, right? So anything that's on the History Channel, if I can find a History Channel on a TV, I'll watch it.
I gotta tell you, I just recently subscribed to Discovery Plus through my phone carrier, which happens to be Verizon, and I don't remember if they give me access to the History Channel. I think it is a pretty good value. However, I've got a Galaxy S24 phone, and I will tell you that the Discovery Plus Android mobile app is not super accessible. It's usable, but for example, it does that thing where if you want to pause the video, sometimes you have to do the pass-through gesture and then tap the screen really quick, and then you have to pause it really fast. So, I mean, it works. It's usable, but and I do think it is a really good value. You get access to a lot of network, a lot of channel. Like I get access to Food Network. I get access to all of the Discovery stuff, Investigation Discovery and all the Discovery stuff, National Geographic. Yeah. It's pretty good value, but the mobile app is
that sounds awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
Hi guys, Becca Meadows here with my boyfriend Pat Banish with a very important message for you.
Hi, we would like for you to check out the Humane Society and adopt a pet. Their website can be found at the bottom of the screen, and you can see them at humaneworld.org, or check your local listings for your own Humane Society near you.
Yes, thank you for your time today. Peace out.
Peace.
Hi, it's me, Rebecca S. Meadows, the author, with my new book, Living on Borrowed Time, The Ravings of an Angry Survivor of Traumatic Brain Injury and Guardianship Abuse. It's available on Kindle Digital Download, Amazon Print on Demand, and on Audible. Please go check it out. And now, back to the show.
Hey guys, thanks for staying with us.
See, the angry raving, see?
Yeah.
You all heard it. You all in the listening audience heard it just as well as I did. And then Becca says, "Oh no, it's for my health, really." Yeah, right. We're gonna see you in the UFC or Invictus or something pretty soon. I'll bet.
Oh, are you talking about my punching bag and stuff?
You know what and I know.
Listen to me. I was just thinking about this in bed last night. 36 years ago, I started arguing with those doctors when I woke up from that coma. And I argued with them for 8 years. And I kept telling those bastards, I will recover and I will survive. And you guys are wrong. I told them all of that. And the reason I knew I would recover is because I knew when I had a chance, I would be able to work out and get my strength back and my quality of life. You know what I mean? But those bastards, they were preventing me from getting my quality of life back.
Yeah. Well, if you don't mind, before we move on from accessibility and apps and all technology stuff, I had a question and or comment. I don't know if you guys, Brendan, you might be able to say something because you have a different device. But see, Rebecca, if you had encountered this problem with Facebook, it's recently been very frustrating for the last couple of days, in fact. So, and I'm not the only one who notices that. I saw posts from people complaining about this on Facebook. You cannot comment on people's stuff, or you cannot make your posts. So when you get into the type box, like in the edit field, it won't take your dictation, and you can't type manually either. But
it's terrible.
Yeah. So have you noticed that?
I honestly have hardly been on Facebook for quite a while.
It's pretty recent.
I used to be a huge Facebook buff, and I used to several times a day, I would grab my phone, open up my Facebook app, and I do a live video streaming to my Facebook, talking to my friends about different things that I was doing and stuff. But that was before the quarantine and before I opened my business and stuff. And honestly, I go on Facebook usually once or twice a week just to see what's happening up there. But like I said, I used to be on it several times a day, so I've really Facebook's not much for a very big part of my life anymore.
Yeah, I do go pretty regularly because I like to follow up on things, and I don't make many posts. but I do comment a lot. So, and then all of a sudden I see like, what the hell? And then I saw from somebody else, and from somebody else, and from somebody else. It's like, wow, it is an issue. So supposedly it's been reported to Facebook, but I don't know how high of a priority we are to them.
Well, is it just voiceover that's not reading the comments, or is nobody able to comment on anything? You know what I mean?
No, that's a voiceover thing. I think that's why I thought if Brandon would know, because he has different software. Like it's not an iPhone, what you have, Brandon.
You mean Gino?
No, Brandon. Brandon has a Samsung, right?
Yeah,
Galaxy?
I have a Galaxy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Brandon, are you having trouble with the Facebook app?
Well, okay. So here's what I can tell you about Facebook accessibility with TalkBack. It changes sometimes by the day or by the week. So I'll have to go try it. But yeah, you know, I in a certain sense, you know, part of me is like, oh, now you iOS users know how we feel and have felt for. I mean, this has been like going on for years. You know, it'll be good and then they'll break something. It'll be good and then they'll break something. Like this. You know, all Anya is trying to do is make a comment. No big deal, right? No big deal. Like this rolled out in approximately what, like 2005, 2006. I mean, come on, Facebook. You know, all we're trying to do is make a comment. We're not trying to do some spectacular, you know, multi-layered thing. We're just trying to add a comment.
Well, have you tried deleting the Facebook app and reinstalling it?
No, because like I said, it's not just my problem. A lot of people across the board are reporting this. But again, like you can technically type it, and but there's no way for you to edit anything or to add more stuff because you don't know where you are. You can't go word by word or line by line, and you can't get it to read it back to you until you post. So whatever it's. And if you post and you find
to me that sounds like something they should have ironed out approximately circa 2006.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? I mean, this. I mean, trust me. What I can say with supreme confidence is that if their web developers were really doing things in compliance with accessibility standards that already exist, I mean, this is imminently fixable.
Are there accessibility standards that computer technicians are trained to be in compliance of?
Well, see, that's a lot of times the problem is that web designers and web developers often aren't trained on. But now in their defense, a lot of them, it's not that they do it maliciously; they just simply aren't trained, so they don't know. You know what I mean? Like if you tell them like, "Hey, I'm trying to use your app. I really love the idea, but this is what's happening," they will try to go and. If for anybody who wants to know, it's called the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. That is pretty much the place to reference if there's any kind of accessibility issue.
When I lived in Missoula, I met this computer guy who said that he would work on my computer for free for me because he was so fascinated by my accessible technology that I had installed in it. He wanted to familiarize himself with that technology while he was working on my computer for me. And so
that's
it was a
amazing
trade-off. And so I thought, wow, that's really cool. And that's when I realized that a lot of these computer techies out there aren't familiar with how cool JAWS and NVDA and stuff are. So,
well, and just like what Anya's saying, you know, right? I think probably most of us here have had problems throughout our lives interacting with websites or mobile apps, and I don't think that in a lot of cases it's done in a malicious manner. However, I will point out that, you know, companies like HBO tried to say, "Oh, it would be too technically complicated for us to make our stuff accessible." No, it wouldn't. HBO, stop lying through your teeth.
Are you saying for them to make it with audio description?
Yeah, I think that was specifically what was, you know, being pushed for, is for more HBO things to have.
Let me tell you, it's so. Let me tell you, like I got Don't Look Now audio described, and our next film, the horror film we're going to be shooting in May, I'm going to get it audio described as well. And let me tell you, I'm trying to remember the name of the company that did our audio description for Don't Look Now. Oh, it's called Mad Love Media. The lady's name is Madeline, and she calls her company Mad Love Media for anybody that is looking for an audio description company. She audio described Don't Look Now for us, and it was really amazing. And as the CEO of my company, my plan is to get everything audio described that we make, right? Because it's so easy. Like these companies have no excuse for not getting all their stuff audio described. It's really easy and not that expensive.
But no, yeah, I was going to say it's easy, but is it prohibitively expensive? No, you're saying it's not. It's usually exorbitantly expensive.
So there's like a per word or per minute fee, and it's like a few cents per minute fee for however minute. Like if you have,
here's looking at you, HBO.
If you have a 90-minute movie, you pay for 90 minutes worth of audio description, and it's like paying for any other service when you're making a TV show or a movie. You just got to do it, and it's really not that expensive. And honestly, like I said, as a blind filmmaker and TV producer, it is my intention to push for this in the industry, that everybody just does it automatically when they produce something, because it really irritates me. I remember back in the 90s when closed captioning was coming out, and not everything was available in closed captioning for the deaf, but now everything's available in closed captioning for the deaf. Everything.
Yeah, because it is the law. This should become a law too.
Yeah, and yet not everything has audio description on it. And like I said, it's so easy to do. Companies just need to take an interest in the desire of the blind community, and they need to get to a point where their desire is to make products that the blind community is going to want to watch. So they're going to want to make it audio described.
Yeah, and just like with computers and phones, somebody, like everybody thought that when Steve Jobs, right, when he came up with the idea that to build in some accessibility, like, wow, you're crazy. That's
all audio. I'm not hearing you guys at all. Hold on,
guys.
Uh-oh. Hello?
I'm here, Anya. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, Brandon's having some kind of trouble with his sound. Anya, maybe I can ask you this question. So in May, we're going to go into production of a horror movie, right? And my plan is to get the horror movie audio described as well as we did with Don't Look Now. Now, how would you feel about watching an audio described horror movie where the gruesome stuff is described? Would you not like that?
Why not?
Or would you? Yeah, because that's what my goal is to. And I don't know if there's ever been an audio described horror movie. I'll have to have Gino look into it, but that's my plan, is to get our horror movie audio described.
Yeah, I mean, horror movies are not my thing to begin with, but I would, if it's available to anybody who wants to see it in general, so why a blind person who may be interested should not be able to see? So I think it's a good idea.
Hey, so I want to put this out to our viewers. So if you are a blind American and if you like horror movies, can you let us know if you would like an audio described horror movie? And you can let us know by emailing us at beccameadows76@gmail.com. Or if you have an opinion about it at all, even if you're not a blind person that watches TV and movies, what do you let us know what you think about the idea of having an audio described horror movie? Because it might, I don't know, it might go over the top. I'll have to see.
Yeah, I couldn't find much because I've never watched horror movies. Like I said, it's not my thing at all. Like I don't like horror movies or books.
I used to watch all kinds of horror movies before I went blind. Like I watched the entire Friday the 13th series and Nightmare on Elm Street series. And like I used to go to Minnesota to visit my dad and stepmom when I was a kid. And my dad would go to bed every early because he got up early every morning to go to work. And my stepmom worked till really late dealing pull tabs at the local VFW. She'd come home after the bars closed, right? And so I'd stay up late every night watching TV after my dad went to bed. And I would go through their TV guide with a highlighter and all of the movies or TV shows that said, because it would describe them as a comedy or family or thriller or whatever, right? So I'd highlight all the ones that said thriller, and then I'd go through it and figure out which ones I could watch. Sometimes some of them would overlap, for the evening and time-wise, but I'd figure out what I was watching that night. And yeah, I watched all kinds of horror movies before I went blind. And a lot of people like watching horror. And so, and I don't know, maybe blind people do as well. I don't really care for horror that much anymore because I can't see it. But having an audio described horror movie might really make me love horror again. So
no, I'm too impressionable. I mean, even if I read a book, like mystifying stuff is described, something having to do with cemeteries or some I don't know, something mystic, something crazy. And then I'll be thinking about that for a while, and I may even have a dream about it. Like, hell no, no, thank you.
Let me tell you, Becca. If you have Netflix, there is a series that is very well reviewed critically that you might really want to check out. I love it. It's called Black Mirror, and it is audio described.
Oh, really? I think I've heard of that. I'll have to check that out.
It's really good. There's a couple seasons now, but
can you share the premise with us?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, what a lot of us like about it is it's not. Well, I'll put it to you like this: it is actually very, very dark. But the thing is, it's not just about gore and guts. It's really not. It's more about how, technology and memes and technological devices and stuff are really not good for us. And that's really all I want to say about it. You should check it out. It's great.
What's the name of it again?
It's called Black Mirror.
Black Mirror on, you said Netflix? I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. But now, having said that, I will say that I do, even as a blind guy, love the horror genre so much so that I subscribe to a service called Shudder. SHUDDER, Shudder. And sadly, nothing on Shudder is audio described. So I appreciate you mentioning, what did you call it? Mad Love Enterprise?
It's called Mad Love Media. The lady's name is Madeline. She's like the owner of the company, and she has visually impaired or blind people working for her, and doing the descriptions, the audio descriptions for the shows.
I might point there. I might try to connect Shudder with Mad Love Media because sadly nothing on the platform is audio described.
Because and I, as a blind, I'm the CEO and the founder of Blue Butterfly Enterprises, and as the CEO, I just feel really important that I make our stuff accessible to the blind. You know what I mean? And that's why our projects that we plan on putting out, I want to get them all audio described. So,
well, and I understand that there is an extra cost involved to have something audio described, but I appreciate you letting me and everyone know that it's not like some exorbitant fee, like you're paying a lawyer or something. It's not it's not like that. Not that lawyers aren't important, but $200 an hour is a little rich for my blood. So
and like I said, it's not that expensive to get your stuff audio described. Which reminds me, so you were talking about Netflix. Is everything on Netflix audio described these days?
No, not everything, but
a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah. I would say probably 80%, 85% at least.
Well, there you go. See, if Netflix can make 85% of their stuff accessible, why can't all companies make 100% of their stuff accessible? I mean, it's so easy and it's so affordable. Companies just need to take an interest in the blind community.
Well, and I think I think it's on us. To get the word out, but it does get tiring sometimes. Though
Yeah, but we need to be able to ask for it, advocate
Yeah.
for it, because there are people who are cited and who are even willing to help, but they just don't know how. Like certain accessibility stuff, that they just don't know,
Right.
and that they
Right.
have to do research and hire somebody to do that. But if we don't push for it, they're not gonna do it. So
Right.
Well, but what I've also ran into though is sometimes.
Hey,
Well,
ladies and
I'll
gentlemen,
talk about it on the other side.
we'll be right back.
Why don't they have blind people sections at sporting events? Why do I gotta pay the same price to not see shit? Okay? The Jumbotron ain't even built for me.
I am the business manager here at the Visually Impaired School of Arizona.
I see you brought the film crew. Make sure you get my good side.
All right, settle down and get focused on your tasks.
I teach the art of cuisine, child.
You wanna know the problem? The biggest problem in the blind community is you sighted people.
Just take a look over here.
Yeah, I don't know where that is, man.
Okay, you all need to turn off those cameras and just leave the building.
Wait, Joe, hold on.
Oh, on your right.
You're on the right.
How would you know that the men you're dating are black?
No, this is not card member services. This is the Visually Impaired School of Arizona.
Gigi, where are his pants?
I don't know.
Billy doesn't work here. He basically came with the building.
I can be the very first mayor of Blind Sylvania.
Make Blind America great again.
There goes my pie.
This happens every day?
No,
Sometimes.
of course not.
Thanks for staying with us, ladies and gentlemen. So, Brandon and Anya, have either one of you watched the pilot episode of Don't Look Now yet?
Yes.
which
Yes,
episode? Which the original one?
The pilot episode, yeah. You've watched it, right, Anya?
Oh, of course, yeah. In Florida and at home.
Yeah. Because I'm gonna be doing another. We're probably gonna be doing another screening of it here in the next month or so. So
Another screen of Don't Look Now?
Well, I've met some other people that I want to show it to. So.
Well, Becca, let me ask you, and we could go a lot of ways with this. I think we could. I certainly could tie it into a lot of different things, but just want to, in a sort of friendly way of keeping you accountable. Now, again, I'm trying to be cordial and friendly, but I when the year got started, you were like, I'm gonna, be in very, very close contact with the White House and stuff, talking about make Blind America great again.
Oh yeah.
How do you all feel? How do you all feel? Are you all worried about what the current presidential administration is allegedly doing with the Social Security Administration? I am not, because I'm not doing anything illegal.
I'm not worried either. I'm not worried either.
Because we hear all this talk, he's going to cut my Social Security, he's going to cut my retirement, he's going to cut my benefits, he's going to
No, it's just a bunch of hot air. Just think about how it was for the first 4 years. Yeah. Nothing is even remotely happening nobody's going to lose their Social Security. If he gets rid of this
I hope some people do.
Income tax, I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but if he doesn't, it's awesome.
All those dead people need to lose their Social Security.
And all those people double dipping when they know they're not supposed to be.
And the people double dipping and any illegals who are getting Social Security, they shouldn't be getting it either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so there are a lot of people receiving Social Security, dead and alive, that should not be getting it. So I think it's good that Elon and his team are going through all of the federal books.
Well, I'll tell you, I have not called and spoken with anybody at the White House. I haven't even called the Capitol switchboard. But I'm not overly worried thus far about what the current presidential administration is doing to blind America.
You're not going to lose your Social Security. I'm almost 100% sure. And it's just a fear-mongering tactic that left always likes to use. The world is ending, the sky is falling.
Oh, yeah. I agree. But I, again, I do think that I also should unite with Becca and be in closer communication with people in the White House and in this administration to see what we can do for the blind of America.
Well, I have to admit that since I made that pledge, I haven't called the White House once. But now that you reminded me, I'm going to start doing it every day if I think about it, right? I'm going to call the White House. I'm going to leave President Trump a message and be like, hey, President Trump, this is Rebecca Meadows. I'm a member of the National Federation of the Blind. Just want you to know that I want you to make Blind America great again, and I'm here to help if you want my help. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll be like, and check out our show, The Blind View on Rumble, please. You know, wouldn't that be cool? President Trump checked out our show. Oh my gosh.
I mean,
I think he's too busy governing, just like the president's supposed to do, unlike our previous president, who didn't even know what he was signing, for goodness sake.
But somebody could catch him on his lunch break and be like, hey, boss, check this out. Look at these blind people. They fucking love you. And wouldn't Trump love it watching us talking about him and how great he is fixing our country and stuff?
Did you guys see where it was last week when he was there with Elon and he told his reporters, I don't need notes. You want my notes? They gave me these notes. My name's not Biden. You want my notes?
Yeah, well, because he talks without script, because he's confident, he knows. But did you guys hear about this fake Oval Office story? I don't remember how it started, but somehow it got discovered that Biden had fake Oval Office set up so that he has some hidden teleprompter in the back.
Oh, yeah.
And that means the press was on board, you know, they were just covering his ass. That's all. But he was basically, everybody knew, who was paying any attention, knew that
But it was so obvious a blind person could see what was going on.
No, but
literally.
Yeah, so he could supposedly answering, you know, normal questions, but he was still reading them off the teleprompter. Just short questions for the press. Like, wow. Yeah.
Well, and he was still stumbling over his words while he was reading. He couldn't even read clearly, let alone talk.
Yeah, I mean, he was not running this country. Somebody else was. We suspect it was Obama, but
you know, late breaking news. You know, other people, not even Joe Biden, were using the auto pin. Just stamp. Yep.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I wonder if they're ever going to be able to find out the truth of all of the corruption that was going on when the Bidens were in the White House.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it we already know, but probably tons of it we do not. With this outer pin, though, I mean, you guys know how this DocuSign works. Like, a lot of people sign just electronically, and it still carries legal value, right? Like, it's still enforceable.
Which that's fine, though.
legally.
I mean, I'm a proponent of DocuSign.
Right, but with this thing particularly, right, it could bite those lefties in the ass, hopefully. But with all those pardons that Biden supposedly did, it could be argued that he was incompetent. Like, he was, you know, out of his mind, and he did not sign those pardons.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it could turn into something.
Well, and I guarantee you, if every single signature looked exactly this, I guarantee you there are writing experts who can say this was not organically written.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't know how much it is allowed. Like, you know, many people sign, like, they have special thing they used to sign. But with this administration, what I heard is pretty much every executive order, anything that was signed without a pen. Like, not real, like, come on, really?
But yeah, but what I'm saying is, if we look at the current presidential administration of Donald John Trump, I bet you every one of his signatures has slight variability because he hand signs everything with that pen. So I'll bet you, you know, the peaks and the valleys and the troughs and the ligatures and everything, you know,
listen,
is slightly different.
You know, we are really fortunate that Trump asked Elon and the Doge to do what they're doing. Because listen, after we got free from this corrupt group of scoundrels that was running our government, we have no clue what they might have done while they're in office. It's really important that Doge go through everything. Because let me tell you, when I was locked under that guardianship for 15 years, I was locked under it for 15 years. 10 years after I got out of it, I found out that the original guardian had himself put on my life insurance policies as beneficiary, right? Now
Oh, wow.
think about that kind of corruption in my case. Now think about that on this humongous scale with these bastards having free reign over our government for the last 4 years. We have no idea what they might have done while they had the American people's power of attorney.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think it's very important that Trump and Elon look through everything with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that they have not obligated the United States to anything like that or anything else terrible.
Well, and I just want to put a word of caution out for all of us who are, right-leaning. If you get swatted, what's called swatted, try to stay very calm. Because that's happening now all over the place. So
swatted? What do you mean?
Yeah, it's where somebody would call the cops and they would say, for instance, so I know this lady Becca, and she's beating the crap out of this guy in her house, and I don't know why, but it sounds really bad, and you need to go over there and check things out, and then they'll come to your house because that person filed that fallacious report on you. When you're not even doing that, but they just do it. I don't know if it's just to waste the police time. I think a lot of times they do it because they hope that you, in this example, would brandish a gun at the cops, and
and
then the cops will shoot you.
That an instant will occur.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of people have been swatted. I heard about this too. And even Marjorie Taylor, I can never say her name, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Herself was swatted. Like, I watched an interview with her a long time ago, like 6 months ago.
What happened?
She was swatted too. So somebody called cops on her, like for some bullshit, some nonsense.
Yeah.
And they call it swatting? That's terrible.
Swatting. I think it's SWAT, right?
Yeah, because they try to get the special weapons and tactics.
They try to get the SWAT team to come down on your house, like what they did to Trump last. Well,
in Mar-a-Lago, yeah.
Yeah, it was August of 2024, wasn't it? Just a few months before the election. Yeah, I think it was August of 2024 when they raided his Trump.
No, it was 23. 23, because 24 he was already running his campaign full swing.
Well, I think that's why they did it, though, was because of the campaign. But maybe you're right, though. Maybe it was 2023. There was so much shit that the Democrats did to Trump and his family,
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of hard to keep track of it all and organize it all.
No, it had to be 23, because in 24, that's when he, there was an assassination attempt in July. So it was way before.
Yeah, you're right. It had to have been 23 then. I forgot about the assassination attempt in July.
Yeah.
But let me ask really quick though, especially you, Anya. I wonder if you're hearing from people. I mean, tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, Donald John Trump is going to talk with Vladimir Putin.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And I mean, I am very hopeful, but oh man, I really hope it goes well, because if it doesn't go well, oh man, that could be really bad.
Well, I mean, there are people working behind the scenes already. From what I hear, I mean, again, I'm not there. I don't know.
No. But do you hear from anybody there?
No, I mean, I don't know how much worse it can get.
Let me tell you how I feel about it. Like, President Trump is good at pulling rabbits out of his hat, right? And I think sometimes God gives him those rabbits, right? And I think God wants peace here as well as Trump and the rest of us, right? And so I'm pretty sure that God has given Trump some rabbits up his sleeve for him to pull out while he's talking to Putin, to help get this accomplished.
I hope so.
I mean, it'll be an interesting day. I don't know how much we would know right away. Maybe won't be any concessions made. Who knows? But what we know for a fact, like, Putin is not interested in a war, and Trump wants to end it. So that's already common ground.
Everybody wants to end it, I think.
Well, wait. So let me hold on. So you just said that, Anya, but hold on, because I mean, this is a very egregious abuse of power. I would not that it has happened, but over the weekend, I heard it said by credible people that the Russian military had a whole bunch of Ukrainians surrounded.
Yep, that's true.
And if they would have executed, that would have been, but that just would have been ugly. It's like, but now you said you don't believe that Vladimir Putin is really interested in war. So you don't think he's,
well, first of all,
he doesn't have bloodlust. So that's
well,
good.
first of all, those Ukrainians are on officially Russian territory. It's not even disputed territory. So they just came there a few months ago and then they got in trouble. So it's looking pretty bad for them. So yeah, one may say, well, but Russians came to Ukraine first. Well, that's a whole different issue. Right now they are on the very Russian territory. And Putin had said, okay, so we will spare their lives if they just surrender, put down their weapons and surrender. But Ukrainian government is insisting for them not to surrender. So the Ukrainian government is willing for them just to die. They have no chances there. They're really surrounded, from what I hear. So instead of just hands up and surrender and stay alive, no,
Well,
that's how much
I heard recently too that again, just over the weekend, Vladimir Zelensky will not concede. He's just going to hold on to that title. That he's not going to have an election. There's not going to be a vote.
He did sign Trump's mineral thing though, right?
I think so, yeah. Which is good, but
yeah, I don't know what because it's complicated. I think there'll be a lot more light in the story tomorrow after the call, because like Trump said today, I heard there's a lot of disputes still. Like, for example, with this a deal that they signed, but some of those minerals are on the land, in the land that is currently under Russia, that Russia has taken over during this war. So there's a lot of land disputes going to be, and who knows how it's all going to play out.
Well, one thing I heard Caroline Levitt say today is that either President Trump or her will update us as soon as the call ends. So
yeah,
maybe tomorrow, can finally be the end of that conflict. I'm hoping.
Okay, so can we take a vote here? I know there's only 3 of us, but since this is all that we have on the show right now, how many of us feel that Trump is unfair by insisting that Vladimir Zelensky signed this agreement giving us access to these minerals to pay us back for all of the billions and trillions of dollars we've been spending over there to save their country? How many of us feel that's fair, and how many of us feel that it's not fair?
I think it's the best option that Ukraine could ask for. I mean, at least from options what's been laid out. I mean,
I think it's definitely fair.
Yeah,
and I think it's fair too. I'm glad that. I was actually really pleased when I heard that Trump was not only suggesting it, but that he was demanding it as, a requirement. I was really pleased because, I was born in 1976, and in my lifetime, I got so sick of watching previous presidents, oh my God, spent so much of our treasure overseas, sent so many of our young men and women overseas to die or come back wounded, you know what I mean? It's just been sick watching our country give and give and give and give and give during my whole life to save the rest of the world, and our country is hurting, and we need, we need some payback here.
Yeah, I mean, especially we already know that we paid a lot more than Europe did.
Yeah.
So it's not even our conflict.
Right.
Those morons from the Obama/Biden administration kind of promoted and instigated everything. So I mean.
Yeah.
Well, and I know today, this is a different region of the world, but I know today people are lambasting the current administration for attacking the Houthis, but I like it. I like it. Now, people are saying like, oh, the Houthis are going to respond. Yeah, you know what? Let them. let them. You don't want to mess with the American military Houthis.
Oh yeah.
I don't think you can match us Houthis. You better just get in line and obey Houthis, or we'll continue your annihilation, Houthis.
I don't like war either, but I really like President Trump's. I don't want to say his guts. It's like his leadership. You know what I mean? I like his courage and his. I like his vision too. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And he seems like he doesn't send our troops in unless it's really necessary, and it seems like he doesn't like when Biden was doing all that crap, like it seemed like he was setting fires around the world for no reason, and we had to send our young men and women in all the time to these stupid battles all over the world, like Libya and Sudan and let me see if I can think of I think in what's that? There were a few different countries when Biden got into office that war suddenly broke out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but I'm subscribed to a YouTuber called the Traveling Clat, and he's over in Israel.
The Traveling what?
Clat, CLAT.
Okay.
And even he says, like, man, a lot of you Arabs are very splintered and very divided, and y'all need to get on the same page, man. Like, your culture is not good. Even amongst each other, you guys fight each other for no reason. You don't even know why you're fighting anymore.
Yeah.
So, anyway, hopefully the Russia-Ukraine thing will be, officially on paper at least ended tomorrow. I mean, it'll take a while for everybody to get back on their side of the fence, so to speak. But
yeah, so you know what? I was just thinking, if all blind Americans start calling the White House every day, the White House switchboard, and leaving President Trump messages saying, "Make blind America great again. Make blind America great again." He's going to have to wake up and realize that blind Americans are a force to be reckoned with. And if he teams up with blind Americans, we can help him make America great again. You know what I mean?
Well, Becca, but keep in mind that even among the blind community, there is a big divide. There's a lot of super left-leaning blind Americans too who hate Trump. They want to have nothing to do with him, and then they do call, but they call for wrong reasons, and then they are running this fear-mongering. They run on this fear-mongering idea that everything is changing. They're going to lose education. They're going to lose this or that. All this craziness that is being promoted.
I want to invite our viewers too. If you are one who is worried that President Trump is gonna slash resources and that your services are going to be cut and you're angry about it or concerned, I encourage you too to call the White House and leave President Trump a message letting him know you're a member of the blind community here in America and you're concerned. I just really feel like the government should wake up and realize that the blind community is a community to be reckoned with, that we are really smart and that we're very organized and that we've got a lot of abilities. You know what I mean? Like, I've been so amazed since I joined the NFB years ago. You know what I mean? And I've talked about this on so many shows, and I've written about it in my books, and I just really feel like the blind community overall, we have a lot to contribute to America, a lot of great things we could contribute. And maybe President Trump is the one to come along the blind community, empower us to start making stuff better here. You know what I mean? Because we could do a lot to make America great again, too.
Well, and I think there is a sizable number of us who are blind who also believe in meritocracy.
Mm-hmm.
We do not believe in the whole paradigm of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yeah.
Because we believe that's a misnomer. It doesn't stand for what it claims to stand for. So,
yeah. And also a lot of blind Americans don't believe in the tenets of the UN, their agenda for forcing employers to employ disabled people, even if they are unable to do the work. You know what I mean? And I just think it's better to help the the disabled people find accommodations so they can do the job instead of forcing the employer to pay them where they can't do the job. And as we all know, there are accommodations, and it's been my experience that anything I've set out to put my mind to, like, I've been able to figure out how to do it, right? It just takes time. And as blind people, we have amazing problem solving abilities, and we learn how to make our own accessibility in a lot of areas in life, and those tools and that kind of thinking can be put to a lot of good use in the government, I think. You know what I mean?
Well, and I think, like, again, we should maybe reach out to Tesla, because I don't think that a lot of the controls in Tesla vehicles are accessible.
Right.
So that would be nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I continue to be optimistic. It's a beautiful day here in Arizona, and I continue to be optimistic. I just think that, that's the speed that this administration is moving at. For example, we've heard, it really doesn't seem super favorable to remote workers, but I don't think that remote work should be completely eliminated. But I do think that non-productive, quote, employees, unquote, should be eliminated.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot to look forward to, including tomorrow's call and many other things to come. So, well, I have to tell you guys, whether for the better or worse, but next week I will not be joining you for the show because I'll be traveling.
Where are you guys going? Are you going out of the country, or where are you guys just generally?
Yeah.
You don't got to say the address or anything, but where?
No, I'm not telling you the address. I want you to come.
You guys are going on a cruise, right?
Yes.
Can you tell us where you're cruising to?
Yeah, but like Bahamas, Alaska.
No, Mexico and Belize.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yes, for private island. So I won't be with you guys.
How long is your cruise and how many days?
1 week.
Oh, that's so
cool.
Yeah, but we're leaving earlier because we're gonna spend a couple of days with friends. That's why we are leaving like on Wednesday, so that's why I couldn't be. And thank you for your flexibility for changing the show for tonight, because I didn't want to miss 2 in a row. So.
Very cool. Very cool. I hope you guys enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll tell you all about it when I come back.
Great.
Hey,
Aggie, is this your first cruise?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is this Robert's first cruise as well?
Exactly.
Oh my God, you guys are gonna love cruising.
Yeah, we talked about it last time.
You can record stuff and share it with us somehow. However you want to. I don't know, Google Drive or Dropbox or whatever.
Yeah, you can do videos with your iPhone from a cruise ship just like you can anywhere else.
Yeah, we will. We won't share right away because we'll have limited Wi-Fi.
Yeah. You can do the videos and save them on your phone, then share them when you're where you can.
Yeah, but I'll tell you all about it when I come back. We come back. So
that'll be great. Thank you for sharing.
Well, thank you guys. All right,
Okay, did you have anything you want to add, Brandon? Thank you for joining us today, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching Becca's World. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel.